please come save me right now.
Whatever. ¿Qué onda, amigos? Today's probably going to be a short video, or it could end up being long. But I've been sick the last couple days. I have a sore throat, and we didn't get much extracurriculars done this week. But we did want to do a quick video on, since we've been here a couple months now, on what our first impressions of Mexico are. Actually let my wife start, because some of you may or may not know she's actually from Mexico. But she has lived in the U.S. For the last 12 years, and so I want you guys to kind of get her impressions of moving back to Mexico after that long, and what she thinks about it.
Well, what can I say? I love Mexico. It's a beautiful country, and then I probably say this because I was born in Mexico, and I was born in Mexico City. So I'm a city girl, and I love this city. It's beautiful. I remember growing up in the city. Everywhere we went, it was crowded. I used to ride the subway when I was only like 5 years old. To get to my daycare, which was like 2 hours away from my house. And for those who don't know, the city's so crowded that going anywhere takes you forever. Like you have to plan your day 2 hours earlier, and you're gonna spend like 2 or 3 hours in the car. So I would do my homework, I would take a nap, I would do all these things while in the car or the bus. There was a time when we didn't have a car, so we had to ride the bus. We had to use public transportation to go pretty much everywhere. But I mean, I love it, and I love that the people, they're so nice and friendly. You have food in every corner, and you have so much to do. You never get bored, and there's so many things that you can do for free. So yeah, I mean, my first impression after 12 years is that Mexico is beautiful, still beautiful. It's so so fun to live in. There's so much to do. The culture is beautiful. There's these little towns that we just love. They're precious. They're like treasures of the country, and we just love it. I mean, I can just say I love Mexico all day long. But what do you think? What was your first impression?
Well, as somebody, um, since my wife gave background, I'm gonna give background. I actually grew up in the United States, obviously, and but I grew up in Southern California. I grew up in Southern Arizona, and I lived after high school. I moved up to Washington State and lived there for like a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, and then I moved right back down to San Diego. And so my whole life pretty much has been on the border down in the southern United States. In 2008, I moved to South Texas, where I met my wife, and we lived there. Um, you know, from then until we moved here to Mexico, and so. And I've seen some other people who've come to Mexico to either visit or stay and live here, and it's funny how they talk about the culture shock to them. But to be quite honest, there wasn't much of a culture shock for me because I've seen a lot of the culture already living in the southern United States. Obviously, on the border, you get a lot of people come over from Mexico and live there, especially in the Rio Grande Valley, where what is it, like 85, 90% Hispanic. So, there, to me, it's funny because now, after living in the Rio Grande Valley for so long, if I start seeing too many white people, I get uncomfortable. I'm just so used to being around more diversity. And but moving it to Mexico, for the most part, hasn't been much of a culture shock to me. I haven't felt awkward or out of place at any point. I do get a lot of people staring, but when you look this good, I mean, it's obvious it's gonna happen. Um, but being a white guy with a nice beard, you kind of stand out, and so But for the most part, everybody, like my wife said, everybody here is very nice. We haven't run into anybody who's been rude or mean. And now just there are a few things that are a little different than the U.S., I guess you could say, and one of those things is I never thought I'd eat out of the back of a car so much, but I mean they have so many people just setting up, booths, and they pull up their car and open the back door and they got pan dulce, or they got this tamales, tacos, corn. I don't eat corn, but my wife loves it.
I love corn, elote.
But I mean, one of our favorite places to eat is actually not that far from our house, and it's just a little area where a bunch of food trucks all get together, and so you have a variety to choose from. And so it's just a lot of fun. And the only thing I'm not willing to try is we've seen a lady who sells Chinese food out of the back of her car, and I'm sure it's delicious. I'm very picky on the Chinese food I eat from a restaurant, so getting it out of the back of the car, I'm a little worried about that. But other than that, we've been on roadside tacos, we've done everything, and so that is one of the things that is a lot different than what we would do in the U.S. Obviously, we homeschool and stuff is very nice because we can get out earlier in the day when there's not as much traffic, and a lot of times we'll go visit her grandmother, or we'll go downtown and we'll do stuff earlier in the day when there's not as many people or not as much traffic, so we can get by with that. But boys are watching. Simon's watching TV. He takes after his grandfather. But so we drive around a lot. We've been driving a lot since we got our van, and the nice thing about it is there are rules. I'm sure there's laws, driving traffic laws and such.
You just don't know the rules.
But I just kind of go with the flow with what everybody else is doing, and the only thing I do is I try to keep the speed limit as much as possible, because the last thing I want is to give a police officer an excuse to pull me over. But we haven't had any run-in with any law enforcement. We've seen a lot of accidents, and thankfully we haven't been in any, and we've been close, but we haven't been in any. The one thing you got to do is be looking every direction all the time. because you never know which direction people are coming from, and so you cannot drive distracted when you're driving in Mexico. But other than that, it's fine. But for me, living here has been nice. I mean, it kind of has the same feel when I lived in San Diego. There's the hustle and bustle of the city, but for the most part, it's more of a laid back feel where people are a little more laid back. They're a little more, people are real nice. The lifestyle is a little more laid back and easygoing. People aren't so rude or hyped. Uh, Querétaro in general is very beautiful, very nice, and we've gotten kind of like our a thing down where we know how to get the places we like to go, and so we're a lot more comfortable now that we're here. And I've never, people always talk about Mexico being, feeling unsafe or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I've never felt any less safe in Querétaro than I've felt in any other major city in the U.S. I've been through LA. Lived in San Diego. I've been through a lot of major cities in the U.S. And I've never once felt any less safe in Querétaro than I have in any of those places.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. I mean, I've been to the store with my 4 kids, just me, by myself, and I have never felt like, oh, I'm gonna get kidnapped, or my kids are gonna get kidnapped. I mean, you just have to be smart, keep an eye on your kids, and just be a good parent. But honestly, I have never felt unsafe or threatened somehow. Pretty safe.
And I'm the kind of person who I'm always looking around anyway, even in the Rio Grande Valley where we live. Anytime we went to Walmart or anything else, well, if we're walking through the parking lot, walking down the street, I'm always looking around, paying attention, and I've never seen anything that made me feel like, oh, we need to watch out for that or watch out for this. But it's we like it here, and we've been enjoying the time here, and we can't wait to explore more of Mexico to show you guys and share with you guys. Simon, what do you like about Mexico? Huh? What do you like about Mexico?
He likes grass.
All right, Seth, what do you like about Mexico?
Chicken and quesadillas.
Chicken and quesadillas. What about you, Solomon?
Chicken side tortillas and quesadillas and pizza.
Sophia?
The pan dulce and everything else except pizza.
Wait,
Like
that
what?
Batman.
What other?
Like pozoles, tamales, and chilaquiles, enchiladas, tacos, tortillas, and agua frescas. They're really good. And
All right, so we obviously like food.
Yeah, but the most favorite thing is the pizza.
Maybe yours.
And the quesadillas.
Donuts.
And donuts as well.
All right, guys. Well, this video is a little bit more talking than usual. We just wanted to give you guys kind of like an update on where we're at, and our first impressions of living in Mexico. My first time, and my wife's moving back. We really hope you guys liked the video. If you did, go ahead and just let us know by either leaving a comment or giving us a thumbs up.
And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that and click that bell so you can get notifications every time we post a new video.
And if you guys really want to see videos of this guy speaking Spanish, go ahead and give us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and we may do a weekly Spanish class
Yes, it's gonna
for
be
this
fun.
guy, because I need to learn Spanish. All
Yes,
right?
he does.
Adios.
Adios.